Good morning, YouTube. Well, today we are going to be taking a look at the Kreg Benchtop Router Table. And just to tell you up front, overall, I think it's a really good product. I think there's a lot of features that you can build on, but the way you get it, it's going to need some work. And quite honestly, I think it's kind of pricey for what you get. So I watched for a sale. I got it on a good deal. And with that in mind, it was a really good table. So we're going to take a quick look at the way I've got it set up now, the way I usually run it. And then we'll kind of back up and see how you get it, and then we will take a look at the things I've changed. Okay, so to start off, it does not come with a switch. You're going to want to add a switch of some kind. This ended up being the Kreg, basically because it was the same price as other aftermarket switches. Nice feature is it has two outlets. One for your router and one for your dust collector. So when you switch on the router, everything comes on, and that's really nice. So on, off, dust collector and router both turn on. I built a dust box, which we will talk about maybe in a separate video, I'm not quite sure yet. But I built this dust box to catch all the dust and keep my shop reasonably clean. And you can see in there I've got a Skill fixed base router. And I'll stick the router number in here, and I'm quite happy with this router. It's worked very well, and we'll kind of address that as we go. Let's see, we've got the option for again, we'll talk about this down the road, but the fence is extruded aluminum, and it gives you the option to add many different features like these guide rollers, or you can do feather boards, you can do stops if you're doing a stop cut, several different things. And then obviously you've got the track out front, the dado out front, that allows you to add feather boards on the surface, or again, you could do roller guides if you want to, or some kind of feed, or all kinds of different accessories that you can run on this table. Okay, so we're gonna back up a bit. It has a very solid base. It's a steel frame that's bolted together, and it is very solid. Something I really like about it, it has a very wide stance. So it is very stable. Unlike the plastic router tables that you see that have a very narrow base and the legs are straight, this table, as you can see, the legs flare out a long ways, and they give you a very stable platform. And the steel, there's no give to the steel whatsoever. It is very, very solid. I really like that about it. It comes with a composite plastic insert. I don't know what this is made out of, but it's some kind of plasticky thing. You do get a pin, a threaded pin. There's a brass thread in the top. There's a brass thread to hold the pin. You get several different size inserts, and you get a plastic wrench for replacing these inserts. The insert comes undrilled. So you will have to have the drill pattern for your router, and then the back of this plate is notched. It has hash marks to help you in setting up the placement of the router, so you can mark your holes to drill. I would highly recommend that you use a drill press. I did not, and I made a little bit of a mess out of drilling the holes. But anyway, when you drill this, you're going to want to, like I said, have a pattern, make sure that you're accurate, and hopefully drill it correctly the first time. And depending on the router you choose, you may be able to get a router that has an adjustment that you can adjust it from the surface. I did the Skill router that I'm using as it comes, the standard base plate it comes with is adjustable from the bottom, which obviously you're turning it upside down, so that makes it the top. So you can adjust it through the top of the insert. The tabletop is 1-inch thick MDF, and obviously it's pre-cut to fit the insert. It's got a laminate type of surface. It seems to be a good hard laminate, and material slides on it easy enough. You have corner braces that give you height adjustment to set the height of your insert to the table, and then you've got a brass thread in the corner for locking your insert into place. The holes and slots are for your fence. It's kind of keyed, and this locks in place with a cam, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. Okay. And here's your fence. It's extruded aluminum, which is really nice. We swing it around, and on the top you've got T-molding, so you've got a place to run T-nuts in. These are on the small side. There you go. So you have to find T-nuts that are going to fit that. I'm guessing it's metric, I'm not sure, but there it is anyway. That's the size of nut you need. It has a dust port. These are the cams to lock it front to back. These are locking nuts to adjust your fence closure over the router bit. And with the dust port, I don't use this, but it's a bit cover just to help with chips getting up in your face. So the fence lock, this drops below the table, and this part runs through that slot that you saw on the table. And to tighten it up, excuse me, you simply turn the lever and it locks everything in place. It actually functions very well. Okay, so again, it just drops through the hole and then slides up the notch. And to tighten it in place, you just turn the cam, and that's it. You're good to go. So on this fence, there's a bit of an odd feature that I've never used, and I don't think I ever will use, but I just want to make sure that you're aware. If you look at the back of the fence, you see in the extrusion, there's a little black piece of plastic. Now that plastic will pull out. And just while I'm on the subject, it's a bit of a pain because it gets tucked down behind the dust port and it's hard to get it to move. Again, not something I'm ever going to use, but okay, so you pull out your plastic rods, loosen off your fence, and then these rods insert into the extrusion just like that. Then you tighten up your fence. This was actually a bit of a poor design because they're just using screws in the front and they just sit there and spin. So I need another finger, hang on a sec. Okay, so you tighten that up, and then this surface is a little higher than this surface so you can plane your material. Now again, nothing I'm ever going to use, but it's a feature that's there if you ever want it. So as you know, when running a router, you get all kinds of dust all over the place. So I built this box to contain the dust. We've got a 4-inch port off the back that goes to the dust collector, and a 2.5-inch port off the side that's right next to the 4-inch port. And this goes up to your fence and sucks everything out of the top from the bit. Watch for a separate video for the dust box. So regarding the insert, I wasn't happy with the one that came with it because again, it's plastic, it's soft, it has some flex to it. So I ended up upgrading to this O'School, and it's a really nice insert. It's machined aluminum, and all the gear underneath this steel. I haven't found any plastic in it at all. Very, very nice. It comes in a few different sizes. You can get a few different cradle sizes, but this one is for a 3.5-inch motor casing. So any router that has a 3.5-inch motor casing will fit in this version, and I'll put links somewhere. And the corner mounts that come with the Kreg table work perfectly. They're just fine, and just use the adjusting screws to set your height, and away you go. Okay, before I forget, I'm using the Skill fixed base router. It has a manual speed control, which is basically essential in this router bench, and especially since I've got the dust box, because you can't see the digital one. You can't see the display or the buttons to know how you're setting a digital. So this manual speed control works very well. With the digital, when you plug in the router, when you put power to the router, it powers up your digital display. It is not turning the router on and off. So you can't use an external switch like that with a digital speed control, because when you add power to the cord, all it does is power up your display and allows you to make adjustments to your display. Then to turn the router on and off, then you need to come up to your switch. But that doesn't help you on an external switch. You'd need a two-stage switch to do it externally. So if you're using a digital router, you need to make sure you have access to the switch to be able to turn this thing on and off. The old school insert fits perfectly in the cutout of the table. All your adjustments, all your router adjustments can be made from the surface. You've got several different inserts that you can choose from, and it comes with a wire wrench for changing out these inserts. You've got a scale here, a height adjustment scale, and one revolution is 0.05 inches. So you can figure out the little hash marks as far as what each hash mark is, but you can be very, very precise on adjusting the height of your router bit using this and using this scale. And then obviously you've got your lock unlock, again from the surface. So again, all your router adjustments are right here on the surface. Right or wrong, I don't know. I adjust while I'm cutting, while the motor's running, and that just makes it easy. Just do your test cut, unlock it, make your adjustment, lock it, and then make another test cut, and it's just easy, easy, easy. Okay, so now with the fence in place, you can see these hash marks and how they make adjusting pretty easy, but they're still fairly large adjustments. So you kind of get it, eyeball it where you want, adjust or lock it with your cams, twist the cam in, and your fence is secure. Now I'm just going to take a second to show you how to make micro adjustments. So you've got macro adjustments right here. I just grab any scrap piece of wood, you can butt it to your fence, and clamp it to your table. Just like so. And then whatever you need thickness wise, however much you want to adjust your fence, you simply loosen the cam on the back, push out your fence, put your shim in, bring your fence back tight, and lock it down. And there you've made a micro adjustment. And again, because you're pivoting, your adjustment is actually a lot smaller once you get to the router bit. Now, if you want to go the other way, then you simply put your shim in first and tighten your block. Then loosen your fence, remove your shim, and pull your block up tight, or pull your fence up tight and lock it, and you've made your micro adjustment the other way. And blocking at both ends ensures that if that end of the fence does move, you know where it was, so you can come back to the original starting point. Just that easy. No point spending all kinds of bucks on these sexy micro adjusting fence. It's just that easy. Doesn't cost a thing. Okay, well there you have it, YouTube. It's the Kreg Benchtop Router Table. I have to say it's a good piece of equipment, but does need some help, and it's a little on the pricey side. So watch for it on sale, and then just plan on making changes as you go, as you need them, and you'll have a great piece of equipment in your shop whenever you need it.
Well, guys, I really sincerely hope this is good information for you. I hope it helps you with different tool decisions. I hope it helps you with ideas in your shop. And I hope you'll like and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, there's links in different places. I've got an Amazon storefront with budget tools for setting up your shop. And I've got some mugs and t-shirts that I'm working on. So anyway, check around the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, there's different ways you can do that. And I really, really appreciate it. Thanks, guys.